ladies and gentlemen, today we are taking a look at one of the most sought after and most vied for toys in the Power Rangers fandom. We are taking a look at the legacy DragonZord. Now, for those of you that don't know, the DragonZord was a toy, or the toy, to own from Power Rangers back in the day. This is Bandai's brand new version of that figure. Smaller, but just as freaking awesome. I did own the original DragonZord back in the early to mid 90s. Unfortunately, I did sell it off, and I have not been able to get a hold of an original one since. I still have my original Megazord, though. This figure has been sought after and promised and drooled after for many a year, or a year exactly, to be honest, when it was originally announced, when revealed. And this is, well, to be honest, this thing is freaking great. Standing just over 10 inches tall with a fully foot-long articulated tail, the DragonZord is a sight to behold and is really a very nice-looking figure. The figure is also incredibly heavy. Just the whole thing in and of itself feels like it's made of solid die-cast almost, but there are plastic bits. He also has more articulation than the original figure did. The original figure did not have an articulated tail with 1, 2, 3, 4 points of articulation. This last point is slightly articulated when you do pull it out. The tail tip or spike does pop off very easily, as you saw, but as I said, fully articulated tail. The hands are also articulated. You can turn them. You can move them up and down as part of the transformation. He also comes with 2 sets of hands. These more normal-like hands, and then these more, well, I'm going to launch missiles while doing the robot into your face type hands. I like these hands a little bit better. They remind me more of the original figure, but I am very, very happy that Bandai included the more bent hands, and in this nice, easily accessible package, too. Really do appreciate that. He does have a little opening in his mouth, but don't go too far, or you'll see the DragonZord motif or face there, a la Voltron. Overall, the figure is just really, really nice. The black paint is glossy, so it will pick up smudges from your fingers. I'm okay with that because they come off really easy. The only issue I really have in this mode is he's a little bit wobbly at the feet, believe it or not. I'm a little bit shocked at that. You can kind of move his feet and pose him so that he's pointing more upwards, kind of like a Mechagodzilla, if you will, but I prefer him leaning forward more, and the crest is movable as well. Just an overall very, very nice looking mold. Standing next to Bandai's new Megazord, he looks really good. He's a little bit small, though. I think he could be just a tad bit bigger to be more in line with the show, but I'm okay with the way he is. Now, he can combine with the Megazord in 2 different ways. The first of which is just dropping on top of the Megazord, and the second way of which is using the Mammoth, the Saber-Tooth Tiger, and the Triceratops. The first combination we're going to do today is the Mega DragonZord combination, and that is with the whole of the Megazord and the DragonZord. So first, we'll get the Megazord all ready to go. Collapse the shoulder pads down as, well, almost as far as they'll go. Fold the horns up. Pop the front off of the Megazord, and you want to actually fold down the Megazord, or I should say the Tyrannosaurus's claws. And then you're supposed to open up the front chest plate like so. Then we will move him off to the side. Take the DragonZord. First off, we're going to pull off the tail. And that's just one of the combiner pegs. And then for what, well, we'll just put the tail off to the side for right now. Then straighten out the legs and split open the crotch of the DragonZord and pull out the center. Take the arms, or I should say the hands and the arms, and this can only be done with the straight fingers. You don't want to try this with the other ones. And fold them up into the shoulder blades. And then this whole unit is going to flip open and drop down upon the Megazord over there. One thing I did forget to do is take the tail and lay that down. Now, just before we drop him down, we need to take a look at the underside or inside of the Dragon mode. First, see this tab here for the crotch? We need to fold that up. And then there are some tabs in here that we need to flip down. So there are these tabs just underneath the head. And these are the bits that will actually connect to the Megazord. So straighten his horns up and drop him down. And surprisingly, this thing is really heavy, as I said earlier. So, especially in the feet. So you just have to be careful about that. And these will clip onto the outside of the shoulders. So those clips that I was talking about clip in right here and right here. And I'm going to tell you, it's absolutely terrifying doing this the first time, or first couple of times, because this DragonZord is so heavy. Next, we will come under here and pop open the upper thighs and fold up the legs into the feet, like that. And they don't really clip into place, they just kind of slide up there a bit. So just get that up there. Oop. And they don't have and they do have a tendency to fall down. So get it slid up like that. And then we can close this section up, like so. And finally, we can reattach the pterosaur. And getting that to clip back in is not so easy. Now, turning it around, there is one final thing we can do. And that is take this little clip in the back of the DragonZord's head and fold it down and peg it into place behind the mammoth and fold up his crest. And here we have the Mega DragonZord. Good luck trying to pose him. He's so freaking heavy. Honestly, I'm really worried that this thing is going to break at some point. It's just so dang heavy. Now, as I said, I do like this mode, but it's not my favorite mode. I think there is a better mode to be had, and that is the battle mode, which we'll get into in just a second. I just want to give you guys a full look at this mode. My problem with this is the legs are so heavy, it's actually affecting the rest of the figure rather negatively, unfortunately. That wasn't the way with the original 1993 version of the figure. Oh well, nothing I could really do about that. I don't normally like this mode. I get where this mode is coming from. It's not awful, but it's definitely not my favorite use of the DragonZord. Okay, now for the battle mode. Now, first off, we're going to leave the DragonZord like this, and then take the arms and unpeg them, and then swing them around to the front and put them together. And they should snap together. Then take the crest and actually push it all the way up, which will push down the face here, like that. Next, we'll take the legs and flip them up again into the shins, or into the thighs, I should say. And you see, there's nowhere for them to peg into, and that, I think, is a shame. I really think they should be able to peg in somewhere. But, hey, the original one didn't either, so oh well. That's my only real complaint. Then we'll attach the saber-toothed tiger and the triceratops, like so. Turning the battle mode around, this is where we attach the mammoth for the arms. Now, according to the directions, you're supposed to unpeg the arms from the Megazord and then pull the parts of the mammoth off. That makes no sense whatsoever. Lastly, his spear weapon. Take the centerpiece that unfortunately has no lights and sounds and pull it open just a little bit. And then reach around the back, and there is a handy-dandy little handle in there that is not very easy to get out. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Attach the stand, and then the tail. stop popping off. And the tail will actually collapse. Each of the segments collapse. So you get a nice, straight, giant spearhead. And that will peg into the spot right there. Like so. And here we have the DragonZord in battle mode! Now this is my favorite of the modes that the DragonZord can form into or merge into, though it is very difficult to keep him standing sometimes because, again, he has lead feet in these like cast iron feet of his. And that's just a minor issue that, you know what, in all honesty, it's not that big a deal. Aesthetically, though, I don't like these doors. They're really, really stupid. I wish there was a way to fold them up or fold them better. There's nothing that shows in the directions for a way to fold them up better, unfortunately. Oh well. Now, you might be wondering about his giant spear. Well, it is 18 inches of spear. I mean, look at that. That is just crazy. Now, even though this figure is really, really cool, there are some minor issues. It's not so much an issue as just kind of silly. No lights and sounds here in the chest. I wish there were. There aren't. Oh well. The fact that his feet are so heavy is, and the rest of the figure is actually very heavy too, that is actually a bit of a detriment in my opinion. The original figure was not that heavy, but this guy is. And it causes him to want to fall forward in battle mode. I mean, he's just leaning forward and just barely being able to hold on, thanks to the fact that he has big feet. The other thing, it has to do with the spear. I don't mind that the spear is huge. I actually kind of dig that. It's the base I have a problem with. I'm not sure how well that's going to show up on camera, but look at the base. It's not flat. Base does not sit flush to the ground. It rocks back and forth. And I have no idea why they did that. The only way to fix that I could think of is to put this on a piece of sandpaper and just, go like this until you sand down this plastic on these outer sides. The ones pointing forward and back to the spear, they're not even touching the ground. Why? The Legacy DragonZord is a perfect example of what Bandai of America is doing right. We need more figures like this. I'm not a huge fan of the Zord builder system, but it's at least better than nothing. And better than whatever the hell it was that we got in Operation Overdrive. The Legacy DragonZord is a lot of fun, and it has a ton of nostalgia, especially for me, who grew up with the original series. So guys, this is definitely a solid buy in my book. As usual, folks, I have been Baltmatrix, taking a look at the Legacy DragonZord. I think it's worth the money. And as usual, I'll catch you next time.